All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Welcome to the Sports Trading Show. Friday afternoon, 2022. Baseball playoffs going on. Basically, football games are NFL this weekend. A lot of games coming up. We'll jump right into it. I got one playoff game in action. Out of the six, 2-2 Guardians against the Eagles game. Game. Seattle Mariners had a good chance to get the ball out of throws with it. I think they're in trouble. Get that good of a start.
Castillo yesterday.
Well, and got that big lead and blew that
big lead against in that the first game.
Be up 2-0.
Yeah.
Going home.
But
it's
when you-
0-2.
When they got to
Yeah,
Verlander the way they did that first
Yeah.
game, you had to win that game.
Well, they was up at one point, 7-1 or be up
Yeah, something like that.
going home.
All right, now it sounds better. But yeah, they had their chances. I think they're in trouble now, losing both those games in Houston. I mean, you never know. You get to Seattle, you never know. They might be able. They could tie it back up and force a game 5. But I think it's going to be hard. You have the Braves and the Phillies today. We get 3 playoff games today since this game got postponed yesterday, or we only got 2. Braves at the Phillies. The Braves are 1.5 run favorites, -110 on the money line. The Phillies are -106 on the money line. So this game's almost a pick 'em. For the Braves, they did have Morton listed as the starter, but they've changed it and they're going to start Strider now in this game instead of game 4. And then the Phillies have Nola, who's one of their better pitchers. So this should be a real good another real good game.
Now, this is in Philly, right?
Yep. They split in Atlanta. Phillies won the first game, and the Braves came back. So
That's what the Phillies, wanted. At least you want to get a split.
And then tonight, I'm looking forward to this game. Starts at 20 till 9 Eastern time. You have the Los Angeles Dodgers at the Padres, and you have Gonsolin on the mound for the Dodgers, who, in my opinion, should be the Cy Young winner in the National League. I don't know if he'll get it, but he should. And then you against Blake Snell with the Padres.
What was his record?
16, 17, and 1 or something like that.
I figured I had it there.
Oh, no, this is just odds.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was like I thought it was like 16 or 17.
Yeah, dude had a great record.
Yeah.
Padres are actually home underdogs in this game at +108. Dodgers are -126, so it's still close.
I think a lot that got to do with the Dodgers. They've dominated. I mean, I know that. Hey, San Diego did their job. They got to win there against the Dodgers at LA.
The Padres have struggled against the Dodgers this season.
Yes, they have. I think actually the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. I think for the Padres, they need Manny Machado and Soto to get going. Machado had a lot better game in the second game, and they won. But they need them guys to hit the ball.
San Diego's got the talent. I mean, There's no
Yeah,
doubt
even
about it.
missing Tatis, they got a hell of a lineup.
Yeah, they got a good team. I mean, they've got the talent. They kind of underperformed
And-
during the season.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, Dodgers have been the best team in baseball all season, but we've seen them get in the playoffs and struggle. I mean, how many years have they been the best team in the regular season and they have one World Series to show for it? So I mean, you just never know.
Seems like their hitting dries up, doesn't it?
And I mean, look, a lot of people thought the Yankees was just going to go in here and blow out the Guardians. You know what I mean?
I
And,
remember some people would have thought that the Astros was going to blow out the. I mean, I know they won the 2 games.
yeah, but it took a walk off home run and another big home run.
Yes,
I mean,
so by the same guy.
yeah,
But
that dude right now he's making a case for playoff MVP.
I guarantee you, both those games, Houston was sweating it big time.
Oh, especially that
Fans-
first
the
game.
fans were, yeah,
Especially that first one.
Yeah, well, we know one of the big fans
Because it came
there.
down to the ninth.
We know one of the big fans there. He said he thought they lost the game for sure. He then gave up, and they made a great comeback. So.
But yeah, playoffs have been fun so far.
Yes.
That's what makes baseball playoffs so fun to watch, because you never know what's going to happen. It's a totally different game than regular season. If you don't watch much baseball in the regular season, give it a chance in the playoffs. It's totally different.
It is totally different. The atmosphere. That's why I think baseball would be. I know that they're never going to do it, but if they would shorten the season to 120 games, I think there would be even more excitement, in my opinion.
I think they can shorten the season to 120, 130, and then add 2 more teams in National League and in the American League in the playoffs.
I agree.
Make it 8 teams in each, where number 1 seed plays the 8, and nobody gets a bye.
I agree. I think it'd be great. Playoff baseball is fantastic to watch. It really is.
And because if you watch the teams that were that had the buys, a lot of the teams that had the buys struggled in that first game.
And one reason, Chris, because when you have 120 games, we go to Reds games or other games we've been to. It's we're going in July or whatever. It's half the crowd that it's going to be at the playoff games, and so the atmosphere when you got a full stadium is just a completely different deal.
Oh, I'd love to go. I'd love to go to a playoff game. Reds ever make the playoffs again? I'm going to try to go.
Like I said, I got to go to a World Series back in.
That's a big if right now with the Reds.
In 76 against the Yankees when they swept the Yankees. I was fortunate enough to get to go when I was in 8th grade, but I did go to a sellout crowd last year, the White Sox and the Yankees at the White Sox Stadium, and the atmosphere was nuts.
Oh, I bet. I've never seen it. No, I've never seen the Yankees live.
It was
Most of the times when we went, it's been Reds and Cardinals because Austin's a big Cardinals fan. So I'd try to go then, but
I'm not a Dodger, or I'm not a Yankee or a White Sox fan. A friend of mine asked me to go to the game, so I went, and it was one of the best sporting events I've ever been to because of the crowd, man. It was just unbelievable.
And then tomorrow we have Seattle and Houston game 3. Kirby's going to start for the Mariners. You got McCullers for the Astros. That's baseball. I'll give out my picks for those. I'm gonna give out picks for 2 of the days games because this game is already on. If you're a hockey fan, there's some hockey on tonight too. I don't know a whole lot about hockey. I've been watching it more, but not enough to be giving out.
I love hockey.
NBA starts on regular season starts on Tuesday, so you got a lot of stuff. Sports are in full swing.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest time of year for sports.
Oh yeah,
because everything's either coming to an end or starting or in the middle. So it's
see, college football. There's a big slate of games. Some of the games that I like. Well, we'll talk about them real quick. Kansas at Oklahoma. Number 19 Kansas against Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 8.5-point favorites. Minus 315 on the money line. Kansas is plus 250 on the money line. Over-unders at 64.5. I'm not saying Kansas is going to win this game outright, but I like Kansas here plus the 8.5 points. Oklahoma has lost like their last 3 games, I think, and they've been blowout losses. Their defense has been terrible. I know Kansas ain't known for football, but they've been playing pretty good this year. So I like Kansas at the plus 8.5. Another game that's interesting is Penn State and Michigan. I think Michigan wins this game, but they got Michigan as 7-point favorites, minus 275 on the money line at home. Penn State plus 220 on the money line. I think Michigan wins this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Penn State covers. Though I can see this being closer to 7 points. It's going to depend on how the young quarterback from Michigan plays. NC State at Syracuse, I think, could be a good game. Syracuse is ranked 18th in the country. They're 3.5-point favorites, minus 176 on the money line. NC State is plus 146 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 42.5. I think NC State could pull the upset here against Syracuse. Of course, our team, Indiana, plays Maryland. Maryland's 11.5-point favorites. IU, if they could ever show up for a full game, they're pretty good. Oklahoma State at TCU. I think that's going to be one of the games to watch this Saturday. It's Saturday at 3:30 in the afternoon. You got it's number 8 Oklahoma State, 13 TCU. TCU is actually the favorite in this game at home at minus 3.5, minus 184 on the money line. Oklahoma State is plus 152 on the money line. Over under at 68.5. I think it's going to be a real good game. I favor TCU, even though I know they're the favorite, but they're Oklahoma State's ranked higher. But TCU's been playing some good football. I know a game a lot of people's going to be watching. Alabama at Tennessee. They have Alabama as 8.5-point favorites. I think that's going to be an interesting game. I think Tennessee could give them a better game than what people think, especially with Alabama. Their quarterback has been hurt. Wisconsin at Michigan State. Which I watch, I ain't gonna lie, and I know Dad's pretty much the same way. I watch a lot more of the Big Ten football than I do any of the others. Don't get me wrong, if there's football on, I watch it, but we follow the Big Ten a lot more. I know some people think the SEC is the best conference. I think Big Ten's right up there with them. Nebraska and Purdue, Stanford at Notre Dame. I mean,
there's a game that I like pretty interesting is USC and Utah.
Yep, that was the next one, 7 against 20.
And USC's plus 3.5.
Yep.
I'll take USC.
Yeah, I was surprised that USC is the underdog in that game.
Another pick I like is Penn State, Michigan, under 52.
Yeah, I like that too because they both got good defenses.
And I've been going back and forth on 2 games. Maryland minus 11 against Indiana because Indiana's been so inconsistent. But I hate to pick against Indiana.
Yeah, that's at 11.5 now.
Okay, and then the other one was California minus 14.5 against Colorado. I think I would go with that one before the IU just because I don't like to pick. But IU just can't.
They can't put a whole game together. Minnesota against Illinois. Illinois is ranked at top 25 in the country for the first time. I forget in how many years. They're 24th.
Man, that's crazy. Well, good for them.
But get this, they're ranked 24th. They're playing Minnesota, and Minnesota's not ranked, and Minnesota's a 6.5-point favorite on the road. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, Minnesota's not a bad team.
No. Auburn and Ole Miss. I mean, there's going to be some pretty good games this weekend in college football. There's a few games I'm looking forward to in the NFL as well.
What do you think about a game that could happen if things stay the way they are? UCLA's undefeated. USC's undefeated. If they both stay undefeated, that could be a real huge game when they play here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that'd be a real big game if they're both undefeated, especially for the fans there on the West Coast. That place will be – you know where they would play at? If it's at USC or UCLA?
I don't know.
That place will be rocking.
That would be.
For college football fans, just in case you didn't know, tomorrow on College Game Day, Peyton Manning is going to be the guest picker. Okay. So you'll have Pat McAfee on there as normal and Peyton Manning. You get them two together, who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, he's the celebrity picker tomorrow for College Game Day.
I know this is off the subject, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up real quick. I seen a story about Pat McAfee, and when he got that big payday and everything, the wrestler that was training him, Rip Rogers, just put out a story that he kept calling him and said, "Look, I want to pay you a little bit for you training me and stuff." And he said, "I'm not worried about that." And he said, "Do you have Cash App?" And he didn't know what Cash App was, so he kept hounding him, kept hounding him, kept hounding him. He finally got Cash App. He wouldn't say the amount that he gave, but I guess it was huge.
Oh, I bet it was.
I heard it was huge.
I know when he signed his first big deal with FanDuel, he went and got like what was it? It's like $50,000 cash that he went and got in backpacks for all of his crew, and then when he got his last deal, he gave all of his crew a million.
Yeah, like $1 million bonus.
Yep.
Yeah, a bonus.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And I heard Roger said what he gave him was unbelievable. So,
and he gives out a lot of money, like he does contests like all the time where he's
Yep.
giving money out to fans and stuff. I mean,
I know he does charities and
Yep.
things also.
yeah, they do a veterans thing, and he does a lot of charity stuff.
He's a great guy. Crazy, but he's a great guy.
He's booming right now.
Oh,
He's,
yeah, yes.
That new studio they built's awesome too. I was watching some of their show earlier actually. NFL has to be better than last night's game. Last 2 Thursday night games have been terrible. Got Tampa Bay at the Steelers. Tampa Bay's 10-point favorites. I like Tampa Bay in this
I would
game.
say so. The Steelers are
Whew.
struggling.
But get this, just within the last 2 hours, it went from 8.5, Tampa Bay minus 8.5 to Tampa Bay minus 10. So it's going up. So if you like Tampa Bay, you want to get it in.
Get it, yeah.
'Cause it's going up. I like Tampa Bay in that game. I don't know if I'd take them at 10 just because their offense has struggled, but Pittsburgh's defense has been terrible
Yeah, it's been, and then when you got a rookie quarterback in there
against that Tampa Bay defense.
you know, it could be a lot of turnovers and stuff. So yeah, I think the 10's good. It would have been great to got him an 8,
Yeah.
8.5. That'd have been awesome.
So this is at 10 now. Then Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are 2.5-point favorites at home, minus 134 on the money line. Jags are plus 114 on the money line. Over-unders at 41.5. Jags dominated the Colts in Jacksonville earlier in the season. Frank Reich has not won a game against Jacksonville on the road at Jacksonville, but he has not lost a game to Jacksonville at home since he's been the coach. From all the reports I hear, it looks like Jonathan Taylor will be back for this game, which is awesome news. But our offensive line has to play better. I know we did sign an offensive lineman this week, so at least that's a good sign. At least they brought in some offensive linemen, worked some guys out, and trying to do something to help shore it up. If we can fix the offensive line, I think the Colts could be a pretty good team.
I think we could be a playoff team. I really do.
Our defense has been playing their ass off.
Our receivers are starting to get better. Our offensive line is the thing. I mean, the offensive line's got to protect the quarterback and got to help our running backs get going. That's the key. Our defense is playing good enough football, and our receivers are starting to step up, and tight ends are starting to step up. Different guys at different times, maybe.
Yeah.
But I know Pierce is really starting to step up and showing some flashes of being really good.
And then you have so I like the Colts at home. Over unders 41.5. I kind of like the under the 41.5 too, because Colts don't score a lot of points.
They haven't yet.
I think they're only averaging like 14 or 15 points a game. Bengals at the Saints. Bengals are 2.5-point favorites, minus 144 on the money line. That's went up some too, because I think it was like minus 1.5 earlier today.
Do you know who's starting quarterback? Going to be a quarterback for New Orleans?
I think last I heard it was going to be Andy Dalton going to start again.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of a rivalry there because he came from the Bengals, but right now, I don't know if Thomas is going to play. If he's back, I like the Bengals.
I like the Bengals in that game as well. Jets at the Packers. Packers are 7.5-point favorites at home. Jets have been playing better football here of late. Zach Wilson, since he come back from injury, has played pretty well. I just don't know. I like the Packers to win the game, but the way the Packers have been playing, I wouldn't give up 7.5 points.
I don't think I would either.
Patriots and the Browns. And this is going to be an interesting game because this rookie quarterback for the Patriots lit it up last week against the Detroit Lions team that
defense really stepped up too.
Yes.
'Cause,
they shut the Detroit Lions
Yeah.
down, and Lions have been one of the top scoring
Yes.
offenses in the league.
Yeah, so I mean, they really stepped up.
So that's going to be an interesting game there. I'm not going to lie, I kind of lean toward the Patriots. I trust Bill Belichick in that Patriots defense a little more than I think I do the Browns.
Browns ain't.
They find, but it seems like they find a way to lose games.
They're not a terrible team.
No.
But
Vikings at the Dolphins. Dolphins, it looks like might be starting their third string quarterback again.
What's the point spread on that?
On Vikings and Dolphins? Vikings are 3-point favorites.
I'd jump all over
Yeah,
that.
I like the Vikings a lot, 3-point favorites.
I can't believe that's only 3.
Only game that the Vikings have lost was to the Eagles. And they don't get me wrong, Eagles are a good team.
Yeah.
The Vikings played terrible in that Monday night game. Vikings have looked pretty good since then. And yeah, the Dolphins starting their third string quarterback who had a rough going last week. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised it went more than 3.
Or they like 7.
No, you can get at -178 on the money line.
I'd jump on that all the way.
This game I think is going to be interesting. Ravens at the Giants. Ravens are 6-point favorites on the road, -255 money line. Giants are +210 on the money line. Over-unders at 45.5. I think the Ravens will win the game. This could be a close game. The Giants defense, the only thing that worries me about is taking the Giants in +6. Now, if it went up to 7, I'd probably take the Giants. But the only thing that worries me is their offense going to be able to put up enough points? Their defense has been playing good. If they can, I think they can slow Lamar Jackson down some, but I don't think you're going to be able to shut him completely down. And they just don't have the receivers.
I mean, if you shut them down to 21, 24 points, is your offense going to be able to put up 20? I mean, or you're going to
That's
put up 14 or 17. Yeah.
Now, if it was at 7 points,
Yeah.
I would take it because I could see this. I could see maybe the Giants only being within a touchdown. 49ers at the Falcons. 49ers are 5.5-point favorites on the road, -235 on the money line. Falcons are +194 on the money line. Over-under for this game is 44.5. I like the 49ers here. 49ers defense has just been playing great. I know they lost Bosa last week, so that hurts. It should be getting, I think, Trent Williams back here in a couple of weeks. That'll help their offensive line.
And the offensive line's been playing
Been playing decent. Yeah, so and don't get me wrong, the Falcons are a competitive team, man. But they're another team. They find ways to lose games at the end.
They have been that way for a few years now, a couple of years.
Then you have the Panthers at the Rams. Rams are 10-point favorites. I can't believe the Rams are 10-point favorites over anybody the way they've been playing.
With all the problems Carolina has.
But that's what I was going to say. But if it was going to be a team, it's the Panthers because just fired their coach. Baker Mayfield's out with an injured ankle. Darnold is still in IR, so they're going to be starting P.J. Walker, which I hope P.J. Walker goes out there and balls. I've been a fan of P.J. Walker.
I would stay away from that game just because the Rams ain't playing very good right now. Carolina's in a mess, but I wouldn't be shocked if Carolina beat the Rams. I wouldn't be shocked because the way the Rams have been playing. But then Carolina's all the issues they got. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams could beat them by 10 or 11. But I would stay away from it.
I hope P.J. Walker balls. I'm a fan of P.J. Walker. He played on. Well, he was a practice squad player for the Colts, but XFL. Hell, he was on his way to be the XFL MVP that year. He was balling for that Houston team. Earned himself a spot with Carolina, and I thought they let him start a couple games last year, and I thought they should have kept him in, gave him a little bit more of a chance. We'll see if he can do anything this weekend. This is a game I think is going to be better than what people think. Cardinals at the Seahawks. Seahawks have not been playing bad football.
No, they have not.
Cardinals find ways to lose games as well. I know they're missing one of their best receiver with their best receiver in Hopkins. He'll be back here real soon from a suspension. But their defense hasn't been great. They're 2.5-point favorites, -146 on the money line. Seahawks are +124 on the money line. Over-unders at 50.5.
We say that, but they blew that game against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They really did. So, I mean,
I don't like their coach. I don't trust that Kingsbury. I'm surprised he's still there, and they signed him to a big extension as well.
And I know they're missing Hopkins, but I tell you that Marquise Brown has really played well for him.
Yeah,
he's played really well.
And this is the game I'm looking forward to, besides the Colts game, of course. Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is going. I think this is going to be one of them shootout games where whoever has the ball last probably going to win, kind of like what the playoff game was.
Will come down to turnovers.
Bills are 2.5-point favorites on the road, which kind of surprised me. The Bills are favored on the road, minus 142 on the money line. Chiefs are plus 120 on the money line. Over-unders at 53.5. I like the Bills to win the game. Only thing that worries me a little bit about the Bills is all the injuries they've had in the secondary.
Yep.
But they did bring in Xavier Rhodes to try to help shore that up, and they've been playing pretty good. But offensively, man, Diggs and Davis and them guys and Allen are just been tearing it up.
They seem like they was hitting on all cylinders last week.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I know Kansas City's a better team than what Buffalo played last week, but I'm not sold on Kansas City's defense either. So I like Buffalo.
And then Sunday night, going to be another a game I think is going to be real good too, is the Cowboys against the Eagles. I think this has ability to be a real good game. Cowboys defense is one of the best defenses in the league. I hate to say that, but they are. Eagles are a pretty well-balanced team on both sides of the ball. Eagles are 6.5-point favorites, minus 290 on the money line. The Cowboys are plus 235 on the money line. Over-unders at 42.5. Cowboys are going to start Cooper Rush from all the reports I'm hearing. Prescott was back on the practice field. I don't think they put Prescott in this game. I think if they do, I think they're making a big mistake. 6.5 points to me, I wish it'd get up to 7. But at 6.5, I'm tempted to go with the Cowboys just because of their defense. I think this is going to be a real close game because of that defense. Defense. Whew.
I'm interested to see Dallas against Philadelphia because Philadelphia is really physical on both sides of the ball. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I know Dallas defense has been probably as good as anybody, maybe the best defense in football. But I want to see them go against that offensive line of Philadelphia because they've been playing really well. And also Philadelphia having that mobile quarterback could change things. So, but I think it's an interesting test to see where Dallas is.
And I think it's a good test to see where the Eagles are too. I know they're 5-0, but let's see what that offense can do against the defense that's been playing well.
I've seen somebody in the course.
Because the Eagles could have lost last week to Arizona.
I know numbers, but analytics and stuff, but I've seen history on a show. They said the winner of this game would have a 93% chance of not only making the playoffs, but being the number 1 seed. Now, I don't know how you can say that 6 games in.
Yeah.
But that's what they said. If the winner of this game would have about 93% chance of being the number 1 seed, which would be huge.
I could agree with maybe making the playoffs, but not being the number 1 seed to me sounds pretty but hey, that's why I'm not an analytic person. No. And then the last game of the week, Broncos at the Chargers. Again, Broncos on prime time.
But real quick, have you seen Philadelphia's schedule?
No.
The rest of the year? Chris, that is weak.
Yeah.
Super
I know.
weak schedule. So, it's a weak schedule.
I knew they didn't have a real tough schedule, but Broncos at Chargers. How the hell Broncos keep getting all these primetime games, man?
I don't understand.
Andre, I'm getting ready to get to the Dodgers and Padres game here in just a couple minutes, buddy. Drunk said attempted to put 50 on the Panthers over the Rams. Yeah, hey, we were just talking about that. And back on that game real quick. A lot of times when a coach gets fired, you see these guys come up and play hard for that interim coach. They're starting PJ Walker, so it's their 3rd string quarterback, but the Rams have not looked good at all either. So I think it's going to be a closer game than what people think. But yeah, I'll be giving out my pick on the Dodgers and Padres here in just a minute, right after we finish up this last football game. But Chargers are 4.5-point favorites, minus 230 on the money line. Broncos are plus 190 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 45.5. I like the Chargers in this game. Broncos have looked they haven't looked good. I know they've won a couple games, but offensively they just don't look good, and they're still making some terrible coaching decisions as well.
Yep.
I mean, they basically handed the Colts that game last Thursday.
100%.
All you had to do was run the ball, run the clock out, kick a field goal. The Colts was going to have like 45 seconds to a minute with no timeouts to try to get a touchdown, which they hadn't scored the whole game. Instead, you throw the ball, throw an interception in the end zone. Aaron Judge has not been able to get going. He's 0 for 4 today. Games, real quick update on the baseball game, 2-2, bottom of the 7th. Cleveland and New York. Aaron Judge just struck out. He's 0 for 4 today. Cleveland has went to their bullpen, so that was the last inning for Bieber. Yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and I'll get to my picks of the day. In baseball, I like the Phillies on the money line over the Braves with Nola on the mound. Hold on, get back over here.
You going to do pro first, football, or college first after the baseball?
It don't matter. Which one do you want? I mean, do you prefer to do one first?
Let's do college first.
Okay. I like the Phillies over the Braves. You have Nola on the mound for the Phillies, Strider on the mound for the Braves. This game's almost a pick 'em. Phillies are minus 102, and the Braves are minus 116 on the money line. So I like the Phillies at home with Nola on the mound. And then this game with the Dodgers and the Padres, it's going to be a good game. You got Gonsolin against Snell, so you got both these teams aces. I like the Padres at home. You're getting them at a good value at plus 108 on the money line. So I like the Padres over the Dodgers tonight. Being at home after getting that big win, being able to split in Los Angeles, getting that big win in Game 2. I think the Padres are going to ride that momentum tonight at home with Snell on the mound. But it's going to be a tough game because I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I like the under the 7.5. I don't see either team scoring a lot of runs off either one of these starting pitchers. But I'm going with the Padres. That's the only 2 games left tonight. Like I said, we got this game going on right now. For the baseball games tomorrow, I'll put my picks up on our social media pages. But for tonight's games, I like the Phillies money line and the Padres money line. You say college?
Yep.
All right. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I like a parlay of under 52 in the Penn State Michigan game. Then I like California minus 14.5 against Colorado. And then I like USC plus 3.5 against Utah. That'd be the parlay that I would like in college.
You one of your parlays hit last week.
Yep. It was in the NFL.
College games I like Kansas plus 8.5 against Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got blown out their last 3 games. Defense hasn't looked good. So I like Kansas plus 8.5 points. I like Penn State plus 7 against Michigan. I think Michigan wins the game, but I think it's going to be a real close game. I think 7 points is just too many. NC State. And of course, I had to forget who they play. NC State against Syracuse. I like NC State at the plus 3.5 in that game. I think NC State could win that game as an underdog. I like BYU against Arkansas. BYU's minus 1.5, or I like BYU. Minus 1.5 against Arkansas. And then my last game was USC at the plus 3.5. And now I forget who USC was playing. That was when that one against Utah. Yeah, USC's. I'm surprised they're underdogs in that game.
Is that a late game? You
know? I'm not sure. It might be. I think it is. So I like Kansas plus 8.5 against Oklahoma. Penn State plus 7 against Michigan. NC State plus 3.5 against Syracuse. BYU minus 1.5 against Arkansas. And let me see what time that game starts. It's an 8 o'clock game, USC and Utah. I like USC plus 3.5. So that'd be my college football picks for today. NFL. I got a few picks, and I also put an underdog money line parlay together. But I like Tampa at the minus 10 against the. Let me pull it up. Against the Steelers. Steelers defense has just not been playing good, and Bucks have a good defense. Like Steelers minus 10. I'm gonna go with the Colts at minus 2.5 at home. The Vikings -3 against the Dolphins. I'm surprised that's only 3 points. Dolphins going to be starting their third string quarterback. I'm going to go with the Cowboys +6.5 against Philly. I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to win outright, but 6.5 points. I think this could be like a field goal game. And I like the Chargers -4.5 against Denver Broncos. Did you have any NFL?
Yep, I got the Bengals -1.5 against the Saints. Got the Bills -3 against the Chiefs. And then what was the Miami one?
Vikings are -3.
I like the Vikings -3 against Miami.
Yeah, against Miami.
That would be mine. And then I'm gonna throw one out there just for the heck of it that I seen. It's Carolina Panthers and the Rams. Same game parlay. It's the Rams -10.5 against Carolina. It's Carolina and the Rams over 41.5, and McCaffrey over 39.5 yards receiving.
Well, I like that. And then I put together one underdog money line parlay for the NFL. I like it's the Patriots money line over the Cleveland Browns. You get them at +122. The Seahawks money line against the Cardinals. You get the Seahawks at +124. Chiefs money line against the Bills at +120. And then the Cowboys money line against the Eagles at +235. I didn't check to see how much I'd pay out, but it'd pay out pretty decent for a 14 parlay on all money line underdogs. So real quick, Rick, to recap, I have the Phillies and Padres in baseball tonight. Tomorrow in college football, Kansas +8.5, Penn State +7, NC State +3.5, BYU -1.5, and USC +3.5. NFL on Sunday, Tampa -10, Colts -2.5, Vikings -3, Cowboys +6.5, and the Chargers -4.5. And in my money line underdog parlay, Patriots money line, Seahawks money line, Chiefs money line, and the Cowboys money line. Hey, how's it going, Patty? Drunk said Phillies postseason Cinderella. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if they go all the way. No, they've gotten hot at the right time. That's what it takes in Major League Baseball.
Hi, Patty. How you doing?
Sure, she's probably getting ready for a big weekend in wrestling.
Yep, I'm sure she stays busy with Big Rach. So,
all right, you got anything else before we get out of here for today?
No, I guess we got the coach show coming up in a little bit here at 6.
Yeah, join us at 6 o'clock for Horseshoe Talk. We'll talk about the Colts and Jags game this Sunday. We'll also be doing a watch along for Sunday's Colts and Jags game. I think that's a 1 o'clock game again. Also, if you're a wrestling fan, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live streaming AACW. I think they're calling it Into the Sunset, if I remember right. We're gonna have a bull rope match. They got a great card lined up. It should be a great show. Let's pack the house in Kokomo. They put on a great show. Have great fans there. If you can't make it there, we will be streaming it live on the Gonzo Sports Room, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and on the All Sports All Plays YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So come join us. Lots of ways to watch it. We always have a good time when we go to Kokomo, so I'm not expecting nothing but that again tomorrow. If you're around Kokomo area or if you're wanting to get tickets, get on the AACW Old School Lives on Facebook, and they can get you with tickets because I know the pre-sale tickets have been selling pretty good.
Yeah,
so if you want to get tickets, I would try to get them. Just a heads up, in case you haven't heard and you're going to the show. If you already have tickets, they're opening doors at 10 after 6 now instead of 6:30 if you want to get in a little bit earlier. And we found out last night they're going to have a live band there playing for entertainment from the time they open the doors until the show starts. So I think that's pretty cool. So come join us for that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, Sunday we'll be doing the watch along for the Colts. And then Monday we'll be back to our normal schedule. Tonight we got Horseshoe Talk at 6. And then Gonzo and the Judge tonight at 11. So come join us for that. We'll talk baseball, football, a little bit of everything. I'm sure the Judge is all fired up, especially if the Padres win tonight.
Yeah, it depends what happened. He could be crying if the Padres win tonight. So,
did I forget anything?
no, I think we're good.
Looks like we're gonna go in the bottom of the 8th, maybe 2-2. This thing will come right down to the end.
Yep.
Guardians have good pitching and good defense. If they can just get their bats going, man. But all I want thank everybody for joining us. I'll try to get these picks posted up on our social media. Like I said, I'll put tomorrow's baseball picks out as well. But we will see you guys with another episode of Easy Money, the sports betting show on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, join us tomorrow for if you're a pro wrestling fan. Join us tomorrow for wrestling. It's going to should be a great night of action. Thanks for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room, and like and follow us on Facebook. Please even leave a review on our Facebook page. We greatly appreciate it. Like and follow or hit that subscribe button on the ASAP Sports Network YouTube as well. Like and follow them on Facebook. I do a lot. Well, all of our shows air on their network as well. I do an afternoon show on their network as well. So they got a lot of talented guys over there. Go check out their shows. I'm not sure who. Actually, I think the next show on there is probably my show at 6:00. So if you go their channel or Gonzo channel, you're going to see a lot of myself. But thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys Monday at 3 Eastern for another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show.
Whole sports, all plays. Yeah. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.